Uncountable nouns. What are they? What are they not? Why are they uncountable? And how do you count them? Countable and uncountable nouns. The best way to learn about uncountable nouns is to compare them against countable nouns. So let's compare them. Countable nouns have singular and plural forms. For example, a tree or two trees. They are often used with singular and plural verbs. For example, the book, singular, has the singular verb is, or books, plural, has the plural verb are. Uncountable nouns have no plural forms, only singular. For example, butter, if we add an S on the word butter to make it butters, it becomes incorrect because it's now a plural form. Always use a singular verb. For example, the sugar, an uncountable noun, uses the verb is, which is singular. The sugar is sweet. You cannot place an or a number before them. For example, a salt. That is incorrect. Or an advice. This is also incorrect. You can't have a bread. This is wrong. Or three breads or three bread. These are all wrong and we cannot count them in this sense. Uncountable nouns are often abstract ideas. For example, imagination, beauty, creativity, happy, greed, time, and music. They also come in small parts: rice, sugar, flour, salt, sand, dust, grass, traffic, and pasta. They can also be foods. For example, the word food itself: chocolate, bread, cheese, meat, fish, or jam. They are often liquids and gases. For example, water, milk, juice, coffee, rain, smoke, oil, blood, air, and fog. They are often in materials that we use every day, such as paper, glass, wood, cotton, wool, gold, silver, snow, and ice. But we need to be careful sometimes. Why? Particularly if you're coming from a different language and learning English. Some words in the other language are countable when they are not countable in English. For example, money, furniture, luggage, information, and weather. So what do we do? How do we count uncountable nouns? We need something to quantify the uncountable noun, something that tells us how much of that noun are we talking about. One way to use is a noun to count an uncountable noun. Let's look at some examples. We can have, for example, a piece of advice, or two pieces of advice, or an item of jewelry, or a bit of dirt. How about a cup of flour, a pair of scissors, or maybe a litre of milk, maybe a loaf of bread, a dollop of jam, a speck of dust, a sum of money. One thing about money, you can count coins and notes, $1, $2, but money is different. It is uncountable. Or use a word or phrase to suggest how much. For example, some water, a lot of traffic, a little soup, no news, and it's all juice, no water. Let's look at some dangers with uncountable nouns that you may come across. You may have heard someone say, I'll have a coffee, please. This is incorrect. What they really mean is, I'll have a cup of coffee, please. So when you hear that, it's actually incorrect, but it is understood and meant that way. Or, I'll have 2 sugars. What does this really mean? Well, it actually means I may have 2 teaspoons of sugar or 2 cubes of sugar in my coffee. So even though it's incorrect, the person who says it and the person who hears it is understood this way. The trick is in the context. What do they really mean by saying what they're saying? Another danger that a learner in English may face is that there are some nouns that are both countable and uncountable. Here are some examples. Paper, in the uncountable form, is the thing that you write on, a sheet of paper. In the countable form, it is actually a short way of saying newspaper. Fish, in the uncountable form, is the food that people eat. For example, eating fish and chips. In the countable form, a fish is representative of one whole fish. Glass, in the uncountable form, is the material used in windows. For instance, he broke the glass in the window. In the countable form, it is something you can drink from, a glass. Can I have a glass of juice, please? Hair, in the uncountable form, is the stuff that grows on your head. For example, her hair is long and black. In the countable form, a hair is just one piece of hair. For example, waiter, there is a hair in my soup. Let's put this into practice. Here we have some sentences where we can fill in the blanks. Let's have a try. Can you guess them? You have a imagination. You have a lot of imagination. Did you get a flower? Did you get a bag of flour? Just add a salt to the recipe. Just add a pinch of salt to the recipe. I'd love a chocolate. I'd love a piece of chocolate. Can I have a milk, please? Can I have a bottle of milk, please? You broke glass. You broke all the glass. He made a large money. He made a large sum of money. Here is a big jam. And my favourite, here is a big dollop of jam. How did you go? Hopefully they were easy for you. Thank you for coming along. For further lessons, advice, helps, tips and a free newsletter, visit www.mykindofenglish.com. Well, what are you waiting for? Give us a call.